Good afternoon, South Coast. This is Ron Oliveira of RE/MAX Vantage. We're here in another episode of Agent Appreciation. I got two of my rock star agents here today. It's Elizabeth Farland, Melanie Freites. Thank you for being on here, ladies.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
We're happy
Can't
to be
say
here.
enough about our squad over at RE/MAX, and I'm glad that you guys are here. We're going to talk about your journey in real estate, and then you guys both live in different towns and cities.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to be comparing New Bedford, Massachusetts to Fairhaven, Massachusetts.
Woo!
You know, all the bells and whistles, what's good and bad. We're going to talk a little bit about that after. But I want to talk about you guys. You guys have came into this business different times.
Yeah.
Mel, COVID agent. Liz, you just got in 2 years ago. Got really hyper-focused in the last 18 months. So that's important. And I think those are the stories that we don't share with enough agents who might be struggling or going through the evolution in this business, because it's been changing, right? During COVID, all you had to do is answer a Zillow call and you'd be selling a house on Monday. Yeah. Now it's a little bit different. And we're going to talk about that. And I think it'd be great you guys sharing your story with everybody.
For sure.
So what does a typical work day look like for you these days? Now that you've been in a few years, got some clientele going, what does a regular day in the business look like for you?
I would say it all starts with like your mental state, right? So I'm really big on listening to the right things first thing in the morning, getting a workout in, and then, then getting right to work. So
what time is that usually? I send out some messages around like 4 or 5 a.m. and it's kind of quiet out there.
Yeah. So lately, I will say I am not like very much a morning person, but my kids make me a morning person. So I'm usually up at like 6:30. I'm like starting to get going, and I'm trying to get to the gym by 6:45, 7 o'clock. And then I do like a quick workout and then get my mind right, get to the office. And then I start, organizing my day, checking off my to-do list or putting together a to-do list, and then prospecting mainly, and then following up with past clients. So,
Liz, what does a day look like in your life?
Well, lately, lately I've been loving the podcast of Ron Oliveira, so I would say I'd start my day with that.
I didn't pay you to say that, but I should.
Yes. So 8:30, Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday, I definitely look forward to it. It gets me going, gets me in the real estate mode of what's going on and all of that. And I'm usually bringing the kids to school, drop off. My kids all go to different schools, so it's kind of a, I'm in the car anyway, so it's perfect.
No, that's awesome. Is that what made you ladies want to get into this business? A little bit of the freedom? Mel, what you used to do before you got into real estate?
So I have always been in the service industry. I did have a sales background. I did some marketing when I lived in Miami. So marketing, sales,
You used to live in Miami?
I used to live in Miami.
And what made you come to Massachusetts, may I ask?
So my husband's from
Who
Fairhaven.
the hell ever said people aren't coming back into Massachusetts?
I know. I get that question a lot. People are like, what? We usually do the opposite here. So, but for me, I grew up there my whole life, and I was ready for a change, and I would visit up here, in the nicer months, not in the winter. And so my husband's from here, and, we would vacation up here to see family. And I loved it. The reason I really moved up here was I wanted change. I wanted seasons. And I just wanted more for my kids. And I felt like up here is a lot more wholesome. It's a smaller town. The schools obviously are like up here as far as education. It's definitely higher ranked. And I don't know. I just feel like, and then
good.
Also I bought my house for half the price.
We're going to get into that.
Than I did in Florida. So
I would imagine houses are cheaper here than in Miami.
Exactly.
Liz, what made you want to get into real estate? Your mom?
I would say, yeah. My mom's a realtor. Yes, Kathy Daner. But I would say just the mom life. It's just being able to make my own schedule and have the freedom that I need.
And build your own businesses, right?
Yeah.
You guys are doing fantastic.
Thank you.
What are the top 3 things you guys are doing every day to bring in business? Because you're coming off another great year. Mm-hmm. I think we touched on that, where the business is different now versus waiting for Zillow sending you buyers, versus now it's the business has changed, and we've been working on that a lot. So what are the top 3 things you do every day to generate business now versus waiting for the phone to ring from Zillow?
Okay, so yeah, when I first started, it was like you said, like there was
Not that there's
so many
anything
buyers.
wrong with that. It's just,
Yeah, there were
it's
so many
just,
buyers.
It's totally. It seems like the business has totally pivoted
Yeah.
back to the way it was prior to
mean,
COVID.
So what I do daily is I pick up the phone. I try to have as many conversations as I can because I know that if I talk to somebody and I'm genuinely coming from a place where I want to help them, I know that I'm going to build that rapport. I'm going to build a relationship. And even if they buy a year or 2 years from now, I know that like that's what I'm meant to do. I'm meant to help people. So I try to do as many conversations as possible. I really use my social media. I try to post 3 times a day if I can, whether that be real estate or, different things that I'm just doing in my life. So I try to be present and in front of people. So yeah.
When did
just
that
really
kind
try
of
to-
start? That's something that you started like last year, the year before, because your production has been super consistent.
Yeah.
And I have a lot of respect for that because if you're doing X number of volume during COVID, and then things changed with Zillow and everything. Now you're still maintaining that level of business and growing. That says speaks volumes of how you operate. So at what point did you start to pivot a little bit? Did you kind of feel like, hey, things are kind of changing a little bit? My customers need me a little bit more.
Yeah, I think I've always done kind of the same things. I've been consistent, and I guess it shows now that you're saying it. I've done the same things in my business from the very beginning. Maybe not as much in the last year or so, which, I'm at the point now where I've doubled my business, but it's easy to do when the numbers are smaller. Now, when you get to the point where you're consistently doing, a few million a year, how do you double that? That's way harder than, just doubling like a few deals here and there. But I would say I'm just like back to the basics. When I do get busy though, like if I have multiple things going on, the prospecting part, that becomes harder. So, so my girl helps me though. we
Yeah,
help
for
each
me, I
other.
would say the best way is just getting out there. Sitting at a bar or a coffee shop and just honestly talking to people and just figuring out their story, figuring out how you can help them. If they have a cousin, a mother, somebody has somebody in their life that either is buying or selling, and you never know until you start talking. So that's just
And
the
I
best
think
thing.
that was our conversation when you started this. I said, everybody knows you. You have a lot of friends. Everybody knows your family. And as soon as you put it out there that this is the next chapter for you, the people are going to come.
Yeah.
It's people know and trust you, know, love, and trust you, know, love, and trust you. And I think that's where the market is right now, where it's a big decision. It's not just the first-time home buyer who's in their mid-20s taking a chance. I think our buyers now are educated, and they're probably a little bit older, 35 to 45, and it's a bigger decision. It's a $500,000 to $750,000 decision, and they want somebody that's knowledgeable and they can trust.
Right.
So I think that's where you guys bring definitely a lot of value. What's one habit that you stopped doing that improved your business? Scrolling.
One habit that I stopped doing was I guess like missing out on my workouts. I think having that mental time in the morning, like when that falls off, it's really hard to get back there. So just having that like non-negotiable routine in the morning was so important for me, and that's why I'm back to doing that.
Does that one focus spill over into other things? Do you think like when you wake up and you start getting focused on yourself and your body, your mind, does that focus kind of spill over into other things? You start getting into that morning mindset, like I'm focused on me, then I'm focusing on my business, I'm focusing on my clients.
Yeah, I mean, I do the hardest thing in the morning, and it's a mental strength, and it's also a physical strength. So after that, I'm ready to rock and roll, and then you're like eating certain things, you're eating better, so you have way more energy. It just all
Eating
falls
brain
into the
food?
same thing.
Can I get
Yeah,
some of
exactly.
that? Let me get a list of that stuff.
Hey, it works.
Yeah. And for me, I would say better use of my time with the content on my phone. So like instead of scrolling on just things that are
I wanna throw up
unrelated.
when I see the hours that
it's
I'm on
right.
this
It's
thing.
listening to the podcast. It's informing myself for my clients. It's it's getting that information so I can, give it to them.
Yeah, there's better things to listen to. There's better things to watch. It's always good to
Absolutely.
pick up, those little nuggets in your business that are going to help the evolution. Especially when you're focused and you're goal driven and you're work driven. I think that helps. If you had to start from zero today, how would you get your first 5 deals?
Calling expireds, just calling. I would say calling and like being out in the community, like Liz said,
Yeah,
like
for me, it's that
like
number one.
talking to everybody everywhere, like at the coffee shop, carrying around your business cards and passing them out, like making it a goal to pass 5 cards out a day to whoever, like the drive-through window girl that you see every morning, like, making it a point to like say, hey, this is what I do. And, that and being present at open houses, talking, like getting in front of other agents and just getting comfortable with content, like pushing content on your social media pages.
Yeah.
What do you think is the hesitation? So like going back, I always say in the Wayback Machine, which is not that way back for you guys, but what do you think is the agent that's starting out? What do you think is like their hesitation with that?
Confidence.
I think
Because I always tell people, like, when I owned a bar, I tell everybody, like, hey, I own a bar. Come drink at my bar
Yeah.
or come eat at my restaurant. And it just seems like we have a lot of secret agents. Like,
So-
why aren't you, like, we give you the first 500 business cards to get you going.
Right.
Like, the hell are you holding on to them for or whatever?
So I think, because I had that feeling when I first started, I think the hesitation is you're not really sure of what you're talking about, right? I think you have to start with learning as much as you can to get that confidence. Like, you're not going to get confidence if you don't have the knowledge. So you have to get the knowledge first, and then in turn you become more confident about what you're talking about, and then then you can start talking to people comfortably and and then start passing out and telling everybody what you do.
I always say that all the time. Our entry level barrier is so low. They prep you to take the test, and then we get our license, and then how knowledgeable are we? Versus some people have to go get a 4-year degree, then go to law school to become a doctor. You got to be in there for 10 years or more. You got to do internships. But here we're getting licensed, and then boom, we're selling $500,000 houses.
You have
People
to
making
shadow.
big decisions.
Yeah,
Right.
you have to shadow people. Like, you have to do the same thing as if you were a lawyer or becoming a doctor with a top producer. You have to follow them around. You have to include them on all your deals and say, hey, am I doing this right? Or, hey, what should I say to this client? You have to rely on the person who's been doing it a million times. Otherwise, you're going to make mistakes. And sometimes learning the hard way, it could have been avoided if you were actually relying on somebody who has the knowledge. And yeah, like going to their listing appointments, just shadowing is really important.
And people just kind of like maybe a little embarrassed, like they don't want to ask for help.
Yeah.
And they should.
Yeah.
They should ask for help, right?
Yeah.
They should. The faster that they start asking for help, the faster they immerse themselves into their business, their confidence level will go through the roof, and then they'll be out there reaching out to more people, making more contacts, having more conversations,
Yeah, you
becoming
have
more
to-
popular like Liz.
You have to have that drive too, though. Like, you have to be willing to put yourself out there and
Right.
and be confident enough to say, hey, Liz, can I shadow you? Like, can I go to your listing appointment with you? And our office does a really good job
Absolutely.
at, like, I don't know, like just coming out
Being
and
present,
saying,
yeah.
coming out and saying, like,
You got
hey,
Melissa
if
Gagnon.
anybody wants
She's
to-
always willing
Like
to
they
help
think
anyone.
we make this shit up. Like, yes, we role play. Yes, we shadow people. Yes,
Yeah.
we tag along and help people with open houses to learn more, to get, to start learning more about certain areas. We talk about this stuff in the office. We have trainings. And I think that always, and I love doing it because that keeps me sharp. Cam says the same thing. He loves doing the trainings, keeps him sharp. And Melissa is always back to the basics and instilling you guys and making sure you're doing things right from the beginning. And that's so important.
Melissa was my mentor when I started, and her and I just clicked. You got to find somebody that you click with, somebody that you trust, and somebody who does the business that you eventually want yourself, and follow that person and ask the right questions and just immerse yourself in their life so that you kind of get a taste of what to do and how to.
And I think some people like scare, or maybe they're at the wrong place where they can't just ask somebody like, "Hey, Melissa, can I follow you around this weekend? You get some appointments, not in a creepy way, right?
Yeah.
Can I follow you around and
Yeah.
can I go to some of your open houses? Like, hey, I want my business to grow the way yours has.
Yeah.
And you get a little bit from each person because
And-
everyone
Or
has
the
their own
Sandy's
style.
like, hey, I want to get into some flips and
Yeah.
staging. Can I go see, one of your new listings? Can I
Right.
go do, watch you do a video? Because she does a great job marketing herself.
Yeah, she does a great job.
Yeah, recently I reached out to Josiah because he's into the flipping and all of that, and that's what I really want to get more knowledgeable in that area.
And here's a young guy.
So he's amazing.
Rookie of the year.
Yeah.
He's already learned, like, hey, as soon as he came, just like, you got to put yourself out there.
Right.
And he's not only, he's out there every day,
did.
different content,
Right.
learning, different ways of, chopping up his videos.
Right.
And he's not scared, right?
But not
He's
just that, he's down to earth. He cares. He's not taking the shortcuts. He's super knowledgeable for his age.
He did
How old is
exactly-
he?
26,
Yeah,
27.
he
Unbelievable.
did exactly what we're talking about. He put himself out there
Right.
on social media and in person, and he's hungry for the knowledge.
Yeah.
I think that is one thing that maybe lacks in like some newer agents. Like you have to be hungry for the knowledge, and you have to put yourself out there so that the person who is, maybe like doing more sales than you, they're willing to see how motivated and committed you are before they start saying, okay, hey, like let me take you under my wing, because it does take a lot of time out of their day too to show you everything. So
Absolutely.
you have to have that like drive.
Right.
And yeah, Josiah's doing everything that we're talking about.
What do you think? So you started, and then you took a pause, you went a different route, and then you came back.
Yes.
So what do you think is the difference between the first time, you were at Remax and the second time? What are some of the things you did differently and that you wish you had started doing sooner than later?
Well, for me, just the Remax community, all the agents, I mean, everything we've been saying here, it's a comfort level here, but not only that, it's a force. Like the numbers that we have, the numbers don't lie. The knowledge that you bring to the table, Ron, along with everybody else, I mean, it's unmatched, honestly. And I don't feel like home anywhere else. I mean, this is it for me.
And we
for
want
sure.
you guys to be comfortable and know that your business is going to grow and you guys have the resources you need to get there. What are some things that agents waste their time on that don't produce results? Mon, there'd be something.
We waste a lot of time. We waste a lot of time in this business, but I mean, it's all perspective, right? Like you could think that you're wasting time, but eventually there's a lesson in everything, and eventually it'll show. But I don't know. That's a tough one.
I think sometimes when people don't know what to do, they just kind of do nothing. So it's the getting out there, the asking the right questions, asking your mentors what the next step is for you. I mean, I'm still learning, so I'm constantly reaching out to Cam, Melissa, Ron. Sherry King has been huge for me as well. And I think it's the people that just do nothing when they don't know what to do. So
They freeze up
I agree.
instead of.
freeze up and
They're
just
just
waste.
at the office.
Yeah,
They're
before
just
you
at
know
the
it,
office
1,
not
2,
doing
3
anything.
hours have gone by, and you're like, "What have I done?"
They were
Nothing.
scrolling.
Yeah, they're scrolling. They didn't come in focused. They
right.
didn't come in with a mission, a checklist.
That's true.
You
They're
know,
just
the day to day. What you should be doing. Getting ready for your open houses, setting appointments, making some calls.
Yeah.
It's okay. Like you have to come in and put one foot in front of the other and start moving towards your North Star every single day. And I think a lot of people struggle with that.
I'm guilty of that.
Well,
But it's human nature. It's just, when you kind of fall off a little bit, you got to just get back up. And because in this business, we get kicked around a lot.
You
Like
think?
there's a lot of things that fall apart, and, it's hard to get back up after that. But
Yeah. I always say it's the biggest roller coaster of a career
Yeah.
possible. Like you're right there and you're like, oh, I got this. And then all of a sudden one thing happens and the
falls
whole thing
apart.
falls apart. And,
They go- off
and not
goes-
only
off
does the
goes the
buying
grenade.
side, then you have, yeah.
And you know
It's
what?
crazy.
You have to just let that roll right off.
Yeah.
And still the next morning you are still going to the gym and you're starting the new day fresh.
Hungrier.
You're hungrier and just like more motivated. It's really hard. That piece is so hard, but you can maybe get mad for a few hours, but the next day it's a restart.
that's what I tell people. If you build a really robust pipeline and really put time into your sphere and you stick to what you're supposed to do every single day, you already know that some of those deals are going to go south.
Right.
South or sideways. And you just keep moving forward. Like, hey, this is just part of the business. You can accept it. But if you work that deal to death and you paused everything else, then it's
Yeah.
like, oh my God, everything's falling apart.
Yeah, 'cause that's all
where
you have,
otherwise you're
right?
just going to work and you expect it. You know that a certain percentage of deals are going to unravel and it's beyond our control.
Yeah.
How you handle it, how you adapt to it, and you move on and you don't lose time because of it makes you better.
Yeah, that's the
Right.
strength right there.
What are buyers struggling with right now? I would imagine you guys are both working with your fair share of buyers and sellers.
Yeah.
Out there, getting a little bit of both.
Honestly, this past few weekends, I've been out with my buyers showing multiple properties, and it's hot right now. I'm feeling like it's a little bit back to like a seller's market, just from what I've seen on certain properties, like the ones that just come on and they're brand new. I'm still seeing way over ask, multiple offer situations, but I think it's the strategy behind the listing agent and how they're listing the house and how they're positioning it, because that number is so important. The start number is so important. I'm seeing, but if you're starting slightly below market value, those are getting outbidded and over ask.
So is it more of a benefit for me as the agent or the customer to start with a low price? So it's great. We had 30 open house this weekend, real number, Remax, over 30 open houses. Sign-ins, probably close to like 100 people, 150 people that came through. So there are a lot of buyers out there. So yes, you should put your time in open houses and get belly to belly with the customers. But if I price it low, is that a benefit to the consumer, or is that a benefit to me as the agent? Because I think some agents might price it too low. So, that open house is going to get flooded. A lot of those buyers aren't really going to get a chance to buy that house because it's going to get into a bidding war. What do you think is the best strategy? You think pricing it where it's supposed to be, where the customer is, or are we going to go low and piss off some people knowing that it's not the right number? What do you think?
Well, I think as an agent, it's difficult to sell it to your seller that how important it is to price it a little bit on the lower side just to get more traffic in the door. I think automatically they think, well, if we price it low, then I'm going to get a lower amount for it, but it doesn't really work that way. It's like the more people we can get in the door, the more we have a chance to get into that bidding war where the numbers
that house
are there.
might inspire them to pay a little bit more.
Right.
They don't know till they go there, right? This business is, 99% emotion. So going there and actually seeing the house, being, so it's not priced too high out of their pre-approval range.
Right.
So they're going in there, being in that house might inspire them to pay that extra $10,000 or $20,000 wherever
Absolutely.
they need to be. So yes, and if we didn't price it there, then that buyer would have never came. That ultimately could be the person that was willing to pay the most for that property.
Right. I think it's a great strategy. I always try to, there is a sweet spot, but ultimately I think you can never underprice a house. It will always get bid up to what the house is worth.
The market's going to dictate the number.
The market dictates the number.
And if you're working with your buyers before you submit an offer, you're looking at the comps to make sure that they're not going to overpay for that house. So on the sell side, I'm explaining that to my seller, like, hey, we're gonna get as many people in here as possible. And it also depends on their situation too. Like, are they in a rush to sell? Do they have to find something? Do they have a house under agreement? There's so many different factors on what strategy we use.
That's where I was gonna go next. What expectations are you setting now versus 2 years ago? Or even 3 years ago? What's the expectation now? So I list with one of you lovely ladies or together, because I hear you guys might be working on a collab.
Yeah.
What are the expectations that we're setting now versus a few years ago?
I think a few years ago, if the house is marketed properly and shown in the best light, they were going quick, and there was a lot more activity on almost every house. We didn't have as much inventory a few years ago, and the rates were much lower. So that's what drove the seller's market and getting top dollar for those properties. So now I'm having to explain to my sellers, like, hey, we're not in that market anymore. Rates are higher, which means we have to make this affordable for the potential buyer. So they're still thinking that their house is worth $1 million, and it may be. It depends on what you've done. It depends on
the house that's not the unicorn. Let's talk about the house that's not the unicorn. They got to, it's going to be moderately priced. What's that expectation now? Like, can, when they think like, hey, am I going to have an offer by Monday after the first open house?
No,
maybe not, right?
Things seem to be sitting a little bit longer if it's not priced aggressively. So it depends on, like I said, their situation, how quickly they want to move. I love to price aggressively because I like to bid the house up, and I like to have options for my sellers, and I want the best man to win. You know what I mean? I want somebody to really want that house. And that's what I try to explain to my seller. Like, the person who wants your house the most is going to write the best offer with the least amount of contingencies.
Yeah. What's the misconception we can always, let's start high and then we can always drop it later?
Ooh,
How bad is that?
That is my worst nightmare. Do you want to answer that one?
Well, I mean, I just feel like, think about it if you were the buyer, and you see a house on the market, and then all of a sudden you see a 10, 15, even $20,000 price decrease. It's like, what's going on? Is there some type of major issue that is underlying that we don't know about? Mm-hmm. So I think that it's a huge hit for, in a negative way.
How much follow-up you guys have to do now? Like, because I think a lot of agents out there are scared, like, I don't want to call them too many times. I don't want to bother them. I don't want to send too many text messages. Like, what do you think is a reasonable amount of follow-up? How much are you guys following up with your clients?
Clients as far as like...
I think there's just so much noise in our space. Like, the minute they click on one thing, like on Redfin or Realtor, it's like, they're getting attacked by everybody. And then that kind of, again, this is where we get sent to voicemail.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
well, for me, I feel like
they don't respond right away.
Yeah. I feel like a phone call is always the best option, because as soon as you get them on the phone, you can hear not only the tone in their voice, but just like where they're actually at, how
motivated or...
Right. And, text messages and emails, they're so easy to ignore. So I'm a huge phone call person. It's like, get them on the phone, and you need to have a conversation. Mm-hmm. I mean, I'd actually even rather just start knocking on doors, to be honest with you.
Just knock on the door.
I'm like in person, like, here we are, what's your situation? How motivated are you? And is it a waste of time? Are you really looking at this moment or not?
Mm-hmm. What systems do you guys have that keep you organized?
Well, we were just talking about that today.
So our phones, and we have Excel spreadsheets that are beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What is one of the things that you think clients will remember the most about you?
Our personality, and being personal, and being real and authentic and honest and brutally
and being
honest
available
sometimes,
and present, for sure.
and always picking up my phone.
Yes.
Yeah. I think we're just very like, we tell it how it is. Mm-hmm. There's no sugarcoating. There's no, you want to do that. It's like, we're going to give you the reasons why you should or should not. We're going to give you all the reasonings and all the advice, educated advice, and then you make your decision. But we're never going to like...
I keep hearing the word "we" a lot. So let's get to it. What is, sounds like there's going to be an evolution of a little dream team here. Tell me a little bit about that.
Go ahead, Liz.
Well, so we, had a conversation about just where we're at, and we've both been producing pretty steadily, but figured with the similar interests that we have, and we're both very ambitious and social and like to go to the same spots, and we're kind of, in the community, why not collaborate and give two for the price of one, and just get out there and motivate each other and give each other the accountability that we need.
I think, like I was saying before, we've done like the same amount of business year over year, and how do we grow and scale and
give our clients that extra just everything.
Yeah, and I just think like we're stronger together than alone, and that is mentally and work related, like I don't know. We just, when we walk into a room, like we're more comfortable talking to people than if we were walking into that room alone. So we know that it's gonna, teaming up is not for everybody, but it just kind of happened so organically. Like, we're both just so similar, and we want the same things, and we're both hustlers, and we're gonna go out there and find the deals. And and we're able to do more in the short amount of time we have being moms.
I would say you guys both definitely have that in common. You guys work very hard for your clients, and you guys are out in the community, and you guys are always putting the time in. You guys are always accessible. You guys do a great job of marketing. So I wish you guys the best of luck.
Thank you.
What should agents be marketing? So if I'm an agent, what should I be marketing besides the just listed, just sold? What's the best advice you can? Because
This
you guys
is
do
where
a
I
great
need to
job
get
with social
better.
media.
Honestly, my social media is really need to get better at that. But I think it's just content, just
Yeah.
that raw
What do you think
content.
it's lacking, and what do you think you crush it with?
I think right now people want to see raw, organic
Yes.
realness on social media. Like they don't want like you all done up in, on this beautiful house and a scripted like thing. They want you to like be in the rain in a hoodie saying, "Hey, like this house is coming on the market." Like it's just so much more
Less
relatable.
glitz and glam?
Yeah, less glitz and glam. Like just be relatable, be yourself, and your tribe will
Right.
find you. And I think that's really important with social media, and not just being all just sold, just listed, but showing value on social media, showing your competence is so important. Like I think you should be talking about the hard things that you're going through in real life with your clients, and have it be like a teaching moment for your audience, and just providing value in
Yeah, I
everything.
think people are looking for information. It's a big decision. They want to be informed, and I think it should be forthcoming. Let them know what's going on. Talk to them what's happening in the market valuations,
Good and bad.
good and bad. What are rates doing? How are these rising rates impacting people? It's going to cause some people to sit on the sidelines. It's going to open up the door for other buyers to negotiate. Homes might be sitting on the market a little bit longer. You set expectations through your social media and in person. I think that's important. That's what separates the best agents, and I think you guys are going to do great.
Yeah, and when people see those pieces of content that you're explaining situations, they're going to think of you. Like I have people reaching out to me that I went to high school with in Florida saying, "Hey, is now a good time to buy?" And I'm like, "Well, I'm not in your market, but I can refer you an agent." But like you haven't talked to these people in years, but they're seeing that you know what you're talking about, and then they reach out when they're ready.
Yeah, I had one guy reach out to 20 years. I've been sending this guy mail, sending him messages, emails, 20 years. And I finally got the call. I'm like, it was worth it. It was worth the postage.
Yeah.
Right.
But you guys are going to be are teaming up together. You guys work together, obviously part of my brokerage. But you guys live in two different towns.
Yes.
Well, you live in
Close enough,
Bedford
though.
girl.
So you live in town, you live in the city. So I want to do some rapid fire questions. We're going to talk about the difference and the likenesses of Fairhaven, Massachusetts, New Bedford, Massachusetts. I think it's great because you guys are going to bring a lot of value. You guys know everything that there is to know about both these communities. So we want to talk a little bit about compare them, and hopefully we're driving some more buyers to these cities.
Yeah. Team Fairhaven.
Team Fairhaven, Team New Bedford.
I'm a New Bedford girl, born and raised.
All right. So rapid fire. Taxes, good or bad? You getting value for your tax dollar in Fairhaven?
So this is a tricky question, but I think Fairhaven prides themselves on being one of the lowest around here for taxes, and I think we like it to stay that way.
Small town, small taxes. Feel good about it. City
boy.
of New Beige.
Yeah.
Everyone's going, oh, the taxes, but we're a city. So you feel the current tax rate and what you're paying for property taxes is fair? Maybe on the
I
fence.
might need you to help me out on this one, Ron.
I think we get a lot for our property taxes. Listen, my taxes went up, but everything has gone up.
Those
you know?
roads, though.
I know.
The roads are going to get better. The
hope
potholes
so.
are going to get filled.
Yeah.
And it's a big city, so you
It's a
can't
big
expect-
city, and with the
yeah.
evolution of everything that's happening here, and we're going to touch base on some of these things, I think if they went a little bit higher, I'd probably be stomping my feet, but I don't think it's that bad
Honestly,
right now.
it's not that much higher than Fairhaven, and
Every
it's a
community
way bigger
has
city.
gone up,
Right.
and I pay a shit ton of taxes. But I know the cost. The people that work for the city, the cost of insurance, everything's gone up.
Yeah.
So it's hard to say that the taxes are too high when I know as a businessman what it costs to run a business, and the city is
Yeah.
ultimately a
huge.
business. It's
Yeah.
a big operation. Schools, What do you think? School's good? Happy with schools?
My personal opinion,
If I'm moving to
yes,
Fairhaven, am I going to be happy with schools?
I am.
I
So.
was. My kids went to
Yeah.
Fairhaven. What do you think?
Yeah.
Schools
I'm
in New Bedford?
I mean, I'm a New Bedford girl through and through. I'm more than happy with the
Turned
school
out all right.
system. Yeah.
We turned out all right.
I mean, yeah, I have a daughter at Voc. I can't say enough about it. I mean, she's in the early childhood program, but just her confidence level and everything. I mean, she's thriving there. So I think, yeah, I'm
It's a
very
great
happy.
school.
Crime. You think the cops doing a good job?
I love my Fairhaven cops. They do a good job. I'm really loving what I'm seeing.
I mean, we
Yeah,
we
get
can't
'em,
compare
get
New
'em,
Bedford
boys.
to Fairhaven, but
Yeah, there's definitely less calls. But I'm sure they get
But
their
on the
fair
killing
share
here,
of
Ron, you
domestics.
killing
I'm
me.
sorry. I
On
know.
the calls that they do get, they're right there. Don't mess with Fairhaven.
Don't mess with Fairhaven. What do you think
I
about
say
New
don't mess
Bedford?
with New Bedford, but
Oh, I don't mess with New Bedford.
No, I think that they're doing a good job. I think that they're doing a great job. And
Yeah.
they're doing the best that they
I-
can. And it's a big city. I
Right.
think that they're doing a good job.
absolutely.
I think we get help from New Bedford too, right? Like,
Yeah, yeah. And Acushnet.
Yeah. So we love our supporting towns too.
Traffic. How's traffic in Fairhaven?
We don't have to deal with that. So move to Fairhaven and you'll be happy.
I mean, we all know the traffic in New
Don't,
Bedford.
you're going to
is-
say that when the bridge is closed, so they're working on the bridge?
Listen, we all have our back road routes. Like we know where we're going.
Yeah.
We take Bridge Street. We avoid that side.
Right.
Or
Tra-
Main Street to Cogsall.
How are you seeing traffic in New Bedford now with all the new apartments that they're building? Is it getting busier?
It's busy. I mean,
getting from
it's
one
a
end of
city.
town.
It's the hustle and bustle. You know, you get what you get. But
People like that.
I love it. It's
So
Yeah.
not a huge deterrent. Back to town services. All the other services in our community, you're happy with them?
Yeah.
Oh, good. She just loves Fairhaven. Buy a
I
house
mean,
in
we're
Fairhaven.
just
which
gonna-
services
We're all
are we
moving to
talking about?
Fairhaven.
Which services are we talking about?
I think fire, fire, keeping the streets clean, beaches, all that
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah,
I think
we
all
do a
the
good
other
job.
services, the community service
I
are
think
good.
we do a great job. I love our fire team too. Maggie.
What do you think as far as New Bedford? Keeping the streets clean, beaches are in
yeah.
good shape.
I think so.
Parks.
I mean, I have nothing bad to say about New Bedford. So yeah.
We are loyal.
You guys are each loyal.
Blue blood.
Property values. You talked about it when you came. How are you guys feeling about property values?
Well, I bought my house 6 years ago in Fairhaven. Cute little bungalow for $230,000. And I saw the vision when I came here from Florida. My husband's from here, but I saw that vision of like this, this is a great little town. And I got way more for my money in Fairhaven. And now it's doubled. So I'm really happy.
Did you ever think it would go up? And do you
Not that
think it's
quickly.
going up too high where it's pricing too many people out?
I think we're definitely at a level where, yeah, we are getting more into like upper middle class, like type of, buyers that are coming in. But I still think that we have a healthy amount of first time home buyer downsizing options. I think, yeah. And then we also have some condos in Fairhaven. So there's definitely a lot of options.
Pretty widespread. What do you think, New Beige? You happy with the values?
Yeah, I
You
mean,
surprised?
when you have those buyers that are either the first-time home buyers or investors that are looking for that multifamily, New Bedford is my go-to. It's like, when you're trying to get your best bang for your buck. Is that
Bang for the buck.
Bang for the buck.
Entry level
Yeah,
price now in Fairhaven's probably like close to $500,000, high fours.
I mean,
New Bedford's probably like low fours, probably a $50,000
Yeah, and I'm
window
still-
in between. You
can
think?
still find some stuff in Fairhaven like $399. It needs a little bit of work, but that's how I bought my house. I mean, if you're wanting to be entry level and you want to make money, you have to find something that you're willing to put a little bit of sweat into.
Multifams, not as many in Fairhaven. We have a lot more in New Bedford. How do you
Definitely.
think that helps? You think that's an attraction to New Bedford because people can
investors,
get like a
absolutely.
3 to 4 family, or you think New Bedford's more investor driven than Fairhaven?
I think if we had more multifamilies in a specific area of Fairhaven, like I think it would be great for investors, but I just don't know where you would do that. We don't have like a city, like so it's definitely more a small town, but there are a great amount of multifamilies. They've just are probably more generational. They've been in the family for a long time, and then eventually they sell. And if you do see a multifamily in Fairhaven, definitely scoop it up.
Definitely scoop it up.
The rents are slightly higher than New Bedford.
We're going to get to
Well,
the
I'm
rents.
feeling like you can still get a very reasonable multifamily and still charge just about the same amount of rents as Fairhaven is charging.
Yeah,
rents are creeping up.
Yeah.
But vacancies, where do I find a place to rent in Fairhaven? Not many.
Few and far between.
Few and far.
Not a lot, yeah.
Do you think that's where...
Well, I will say, like, down the neck, you can find some rentals, like some seasonal rentals. There's a lot of rental properties on West Island. So I would say that would be your best bet for a rental.
You think that's part of the attraction to New Bedford? People come here because we have the train. We're going to talk about the train. And they can find an apartment that's still pretty reasonable.
Absolutely.
And we convert those renters to ultimately buyers because they start to love
the
the
key,
city,
Ron.
city life.
Yeah.
Hot spots. Favorite hot spot in Fairhaven?
Ooh, I love Fathoms.
Have you tried out SoCo? Oh, you worked at SoCo for a sec.
Yeah,
Or you-
SoCo's a fun spot.
Yes.
They definitely did a great job in there, and the drinks are definitely like
Good.
picture worthy,
A
social
good dirty
media
martini.
worthy. Yeah, I'm simple. I just like a dirty
Fathoms,
martini.
SoCo, about you?
Yeah.
New
Again, I'm a
Bedford,
New
what's the hot
Bedford girl.
spot?
I love what Silver Steins has done with their restaurants. I mean, you have Candela, you have obviously Black Whale is my all-time favorite go-to, and now you have the new National Club, which they've done amazing with. The margaritas are great, the food's amazing. So yeah, I mean,
I check all the same boxes.
Oh,
I
yeah.
agree. I agree with both.
right.
Trying to think of like a mom and pop's spot like in Fairhaven.
Olivia's.
Oh yes. Well, how did I
100%.
forget about Olivia's?
Olivia's.
That is definitely a number one.
Yes.
And then for breakfast, Little Village.
The Village Cafe.
We're going to do a part 2 to this. All the good,
All the spots.
good foodie spots.
Oh, I'm a
between
foodie.
both places.
Yes.
I obviously am too. We don't discriminate against any food. Last question: how do you guys see the future of each one of your towns? What's happening? What's changing? What do you think it's going to look like 4 or 5 years from now? And then honestly, the same for New Bedford.
I think the future's bright for Fairhaven. Like we're getting to a point where, yeah, I mean things are selling for top dollar right now, and I mean we're projected. You know, the projections are that we're going to see at least a 15% increase year over year, or somewhere around that. So yeah,
Safe investment. Don't feel like I'm
Safe
overpaying.
investment. Yeah. I think you'll definitely see growth in Fairhaven over the next 5 to 10 years, especially, people are thinking like, maybe we could make that downtown area more of like a Paynerum. I've heard that in the past. If that really comes to life, and we're getting there, we have a lot of great places now. But I think if we grow that portion, it'll just drive a lot more interest into Fairhaven too. But we already have a ton of interest. We're definitely strong in Fairhaven, and I definitely see a lot of growth.
Nice. What do you think?
I mean,
Where do you see New Bedford next 3, 4, 5 years?
I see great things for New Bedford. The development is not stopping. Downtown has picked up. You see, what's that big new apartment building that's coming down?
A lot of new apartment buildings.
A lot of new apartment buildings. Great restaurants. I mean, I just.
Yeah, you see people walking around, people
Absolutely.
enjoying the city, living it
Investors
up.
here.
from all over too. Like there's people and investors in Boston that are looking down here now, or people
Yeah.
from the Cape,
I-
Plymouth area.
Yeah, I think you're going to see more development, more vertical development going up around downtown and
Right.
just on the outskirts of downtown where the zoning allows it. You're going to see they're infilling a lot of these vacant lots, and I think that's going to create some more housing, bring some new clientele for us. So I definitely see great things for New Bedford in the next 3 to 5 years.
Yeah.
Ladies, thank you so much for being on here.
Thank you, Ron.
How do they get
you.
in touch with each one of you, and how do they get in touch with the team?
Well, our phones are always on us. We always answer. So my number is 954-270-4485, or you can follow me on Facebook, Melanie Freitz.
And Elizabeth Farland, 508-889-2678. And you'll always see us out and about for sure. So
And at the Fairhaven office.
don't hesitate to start a conversation with us, and we're ready.
2 rock star agents, Melanie Freitz, Elizabeth Farland. Thank you so much for being on here. I appreciate you guys so much.
Thank you.
Guys, look for these ladies. The market's hot. They're going to help you either buy a house, sell a house, help you buy a business, buy a new home, new
All
construction.
of your real estate needs.
All of your real estate needs.
Yes.
Reach out to these lovely ladies. Please like and share this. We just compared New Bedford and Fairhaven. You don't want to miss it. A lot of nuggets right here, especially for you agents that are starting out. Grow your business, know your community. And if you're looking to join RE/MAX, give me a buzz, 508-733-5931. Thank you.